Wow, so much has happened since I've last really gotten on and talked and expressed how I'm feeling and what I'm seeing. And really, so much is just happening all the time, and more keeps happening faster and faster as we get close to, I guess you can call it the 0 point. Not enough people, I think, are talking about it, and a few people I've talked to privately have talked about it with me, and there are YouTube channels talking about what we could call, basically the great flipping, or the word apocalypse is useful because the word apocalypse means to reveal, the great unveiling, the great revealing, and we're starting to see more and more of it now. The true nature of people was being revealed. The true nature of the world we're in, how inverted it is being more and more amplified and made more and more apparent. And we are progressing more and more to a point where you will not be able to choose. You will either be good or you will be evil. You will either be a being of love or you will be a being of destruction. And the time to make that choice is running out. Many of us are still like the person in this photo. We're still sort of teetering in the middle, but eventually that choice is going to be made for us if we don't make it for ourselves. And this is something that is not being well discussed in this community. But many of the legends and myths from our ancient past, a lot of what's in our religious texts is actually based in reality. It's not all pure fantasy. It's not just legend. A lot of what we see in movies and video games is actually a reflection of what we've experienced in the past and what will be returning to this realm. We have been in a realm that has been, and granted, this is only one aspect of existence, but in this physical construct, in this realm that we're in now, everything that we've said about it in the last few years has been true. It is very much an inversion. It is very much a mundane reality where much of the magic has been sucked out of it, and we've been placed under heavy pressure, and everything has been upside down. And it has been much more physically challenging and much more physically demanding. But even this physical reality has not always been this mundane. It has not always been set up this way, where it has not been magical. We have gone through cyclical cataclysms where we get to a certain point with our technology, we get through to a certain point with our civilization, and then we reach this sort of 0 point where everything flips, the polarity flips. We go from magical to mundane and vice versa, mundane back to magical. And there is a brief period of time where these fantastical beings of old are actually able to temporarily enter this reality. And this is where many of the legends come from for people battling beasts of old. People like knights fighting dragons and mythical beings, giant snails, and all of that we see in a lot of medieval artwork. That's all based in reality because whenever these flips happen, whenever these events occur, these cataclysmic events, there is a brief period of time when people can either physically escape this reality into other physical realities, or they can actually come into this realm. And we are reaching a point when this is probably going to happen very, very soon again. And while I think we do need to get prepared, I do think we need to physically get prepared for what's about to take place. And that is a lot more than I probably have, the patience or time to want to go into in this video. But I do somewhat agree with Jay Dreamer's channel. I personally think that we're going to see more and more intense weather anomalies. I think we're going to see more and more civil unrest and chaos. And I personally think it's a good idea. I've been wanting to for years to get somewhere where I could build like an underground house or an earth integrated house, and somewhere that you would have to really research your topography, and pay attention to know that um, you have plenty of bedrock around your soil, and that you are not in a flood zone. And should these cataclysmic events occur, like if the soil actually does liquefy, that you're not going to get buried or you're not going to get stuck underground. There's a lot to look into all of this. And this may sound silly and crazy to some people, and some people may just want to check out of here. And I'm not saying that that's wrong either, but what will eventually happen for the people that stick this out and survive what's coming is our magical abilities will return, and we will become somewhat like superheroes, and we will not be, even though we'll still be in this physical construct, we will not be in a slave system any longer. I don't know when this is going to happen. I just know it's coming very, very soon. And I think we have to do two things to prepare for it. We have to get physically prepared, like I was just suggesting, and we have to really focus on being good. Like Derek has been saying, we need to choose truth. We need to choose love. We need to be accountable, and we need to hold ourselves accountable. Even yesterday, I told myself I was going to mop my floor, and I didn't mop my floor. And like, that might be something small, but that's not. Stuff like that will add up over time, and it will eventually take control of me. I have to be the master of myself. We all have to be the master of ourselves. And I don't mean to trash talk him, but to use someone like Kevin 9 as an example. The more time that goes on, the more I go back and look at his video about love, the more offensive I find it. While no, people don't have to, like, I talked to Derek about this. And look, if somebody does something nice for you, if somebody does you a favor, no, that doesn't mean that it's like a debt collection thing and you automatically owe them a favor. But it does mean that if someone does good for you, if you're a good person, you should want to do good for them, period, full stop. So for Kevin to have taken donations and used a GoFundMe page that Derek had set up when Kevin needed to move, and we all remember, he was going to lose his house, and he had a very short amount of time to move, and we had to raise money for him. And I know I contributed. I know several people among us contributed to it, and Derek set this page up for him. And then when the Sanity Machine comes out and calls Derek a pedophile and gets Derek evicted or thrown out of his house and harasses his neighbors, and I have a strong suspicion that Stephen actually called my job and complained and lied and said he was a customer to get me fired. I don't know that for sure, but I have a very strong suspicion of that, because I constantly run into people in the town I live in. It's a small town. It doesn't matter where I go to, what restaurant I go to, I'm constantly running into the same people I've waited on, and none of them have acted like they would have complained. It just seems really, really bizarre for that to have happened. And my intuition, when I was fired and I was told that a customer complained, I really, truly felt like it was probably Stephen. And I can't prove that. I don't know for sure, but I just know for sure that he's gone well beyond what has happened on YouTube or what's on social media. And so for someone like Kevin 9 to say that he loves Stephen, that he sees him as a truly good person, not only means that Kevin has flat out ignored my videos. He's flat out said he wasn't going to read the manifesto. So he's made a conscious choice to not actually listen to both sides of the story. He's made a conscious choice to side with the more popular opinion. And he's made a conscious choice to basically side with evil. I mean, Stephen literally recently put up a post where he tagged like 30 something channels. He put all of us in it. And not only did he say that we had to apologize, he said that we needed to talk about him on our channels, and not just in the form of a shout out. We had to go on our channels and actually promote his channel as a Real Truth channel. Then he wrote like 15 or 16 comments to himself and hearted his own comments. The level of insanity there, the level of batshit craziness, I have not seen since I was in downtown New Orleans dealing with fucking homeless crackheads. Like, that's the level of insanity. And like him saying that we're all toothpaste eaters and we all consume fluoride when he drinks Coke Zero. Like, Coke Zero doesn't have fluoride in it. It's so insane. It makes no sense. But that's what I'm saying. As we get closer to this 0 point, you're going to see people like Steven and Kevin and all these people are going to go closer and closer into that hell path, that evil demonic path. And eventually the choice is going to be made for them, and it's going to take them over. I can't even warn Kevin because he's not going to listen to this message, and he doesn't even hear me or follow this channel. But it's a shame. I feel like somebody should warn him, like, sir, you are headed towards destruction. You are headed down a very dark path. But for the rest of us, we have to not give up. And as depressing and sad as all this is, we have to be reminded that even if in this physical construct or not, if we stay true to ourselves, if we hold on to the truth, hold on to love, and we keep getting prepared and keep focusing on what's right, we will head into that brighter path. We will head back into that golden world. We will go home. We will go where we belong. And the evil ones will go where they belong. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well.